So it is 11th class geography, chapter 7, natural hazards and disasters. Let's start it. You might have heard about tsunami or seen the images of horror on television set immediately after it happened. You may also be aware of the severe earthquake in Kashmir on both sides of the line of control. The damage caused to human life and properties during these episodes has moved us all. What are these as phenomena and how they are caused? How can we save ourselves? These are some questions which come to our minds. This chapter will attempt to analyze some of these questions. Change is the law of nature. It is a continuous process that goes on uninterruptedly uninterruptedly involving phenomena big or small and material and non-material that make our physical and socio-cultural environment. It is a process present everywhere with variation in terms of magnitude, intensity and scale. Change can be a gradual or slow process like the evolution of the landform and organism, and it can be as sudden and swift as volcanic eruption, tsunami, earthquake, and lightning, etc. So, we are talking about the disasters and we are talking about the changes. Change is a law of nature. Like what is today has to change tomorrow. So, the same thing goes here. Change is a very slow process. The change can be of two types, slow or very quick. The slow process change what we can see in our body also, like we are not the same as we used to be or we seem to be 10 years early. Okay, we were in childhood, now we are in adulthood, and then gradually the thing will change. Okay, so the change can be slow, okay, naturally, and the change can be quick like the earthquake. Just in 5 minutes all the things will be upside down. Tsunami, everything will be in a fraction of seconds. So the changes can be gradual or just very confined to some seconds. Okay, similarly it may remain confined to a smaller area occurring within a few seconds, like hailstorms are the stone are the what we say small ice that fell that fall from the atmosphere. Tornadoes and dust storms, and it can also have global dimensions such as global warming and depletion of the ozone layer. Besides, these changes have different meaning for different people. It depends upon the perspective one takes while trying to understand them. From the perspective of nature, changes are value neutral. These are neither good nor bad. Okay, so when we talk about the changes, we can see it from two perspectives. Like for the same person, a change can be good, while for the other person, the change can be bad. So, similarly, it can be of two types, value or neutral. But from the human perspective, these are value loaded. There are some changes that are desirable and good, like the change of seasons, ripening of fruits, while there are other like earthquake, floods, and wars that are considered bad and undesirable. So the changes, the weather is changing. That is also a type of change, and the situation after the earthquake, the things are entirely changed, so that is also a change. So both type of changes are there, but when we talk about the climatic change, we take it as a good thing, that okay, this is on a positive side. But while the destruction or the changes which are made after an earthquake, it is seen as a negative change. So both the changes have to be there, but they are from man perspective of view, they are considered as desirable and undesirable. The things which are not according to our desires or which causes destructions are undesirable. And same, observe the environment you live in and prepare a list of changes which take places over a long period of time, and those which take place within a short period of time. Do you know why some changes are considered good and other bad? Prepare a list of, okay. In this chapter, we will read about some of these changes which are considered bad and have haunted humankind of for a long time. For a long time, disasters in general and natural disasters in particular are some changes. Okay, ठीक है. What is a disaster? Okay, we are often confused about the term disaster and natural hazard. We often take it on the same plane, which is somewhat correct from a perspective but not entirely correct. So let's define it. What is a disaster? Disaster is an undesirable occurrence resulting from forces that are largely outside human control. Okay, so disaster is very sudden. Like a human don't have any control over it. Like in a moment, if there in a fraction of second, if there is an tsunami or if there is an earthquake, what can we do? We don't have any control over it. For some extent we can predict, okay, this is going to happen, the plates are moving, the volcanoes are erupting, but we don't have entirely control over it. So that's why disaster is an undesirable. Why undesirable? Who will want who wants an earthquake? Who wants entire loss of humanity? Nobody. So it is undesirable occurrence resulting from forces that are largely outside human control. We don't control that. For some extent it is caused by human behavior and human activities, but still it is outside human control to control it. Strikes quickly with little or no warning. There can be a warning or there can be no warning. Obviously there is no warning. For some extent we can predict, but there is no such warning. Earthquake won't come and tell you, okay, hello sir, I am going to come. Okay, which causes or threatens serious disruption of life and property, including death and injury to a large number of people, and requires therefore mobilization of efforts in excess of that which are normally provided by statutory emergency services. And what are the outcome of such disasters? Only destructions, death, injury. Okay, and what we require, we can't control the disasters, but we can be ready with the precautions, or we can be ready with the after treatment of the disaster, so that are being maintained by the statutory emergency services. Okay, like we will be reading about that. Yokohama something is there. Okay, for a long time, geographical literature viewed disaster as a consequence of natural forces, and human beings were treated as innocent and helpless victims in front of the mighty forces of nature. So for a very long period, we believe that, okay, natural disasters are something which we don't have control, and it is out of our control, and the people who are suffering, like the man is suffering by the disasters. But later when we just what we say but when we actually looked into it, we found that, okay, it is not entirely based on natural thing, but to 70% of the extent it is due to human activities. Okay, so we found out that no, humans are not so innocent, but they are a somewhat. Okay, but natural forces are not the only the causes of disasters. Disasters are also caused by some human activities. There are some activities carried by human beings that are directly responsible for disaster. For example, the Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, that was entirely human based. Chernobyl, nuclear disaster war, release of CFCs, and increase of greenhouse gases, environmental pollution like noise, air, water, and soil are some of the disasters which are caused directly by human actions. There are some other activities of human being that can accelerate or intensify disasters indirectly. Okay, so the activities which are being performed by the humans somewhat accelerate works as a catalyst in the natural disasters. Landslides and floods due to deforestation. We see, okay, landslide, it is completely natural, but why is it happening? Very frequently due to deforestation, unscientific land use, and construction activities in fragile areas. Some areas which are prone to disaster, we construct building over there for our benefits, and that is the reason why that destructions and human loss are being seen. Can you identify some other human activities going on in and around your neighborhood and school that can, okay, it is a common experience that human made disasters have increased both in their number and magnitude over the years, and concerted efforts are on at various levels to prevent and minimize their occurrence, though the success has been only nominal so far. Okay, it is possible to prevent some of these disasters created by human actions. As opposed to this, very little is possible to prevent natural disasters. Okay, to some extent we can stop the man-made destruction, but the natural disasters are entirely out of our control. We can't control them. As opposed to this, very little is possible to prevent natural disaster. Therefore, the best way out is to emphasize on natural disasters mitigation and management. So what we cannot control, we should not worry about that, but what we can control, we should look upon that. Okay, so we can't control the natural disasters, but we can somewhat we can stop the man-made destruction which is performing as a catalyst. We can stop that, and what we can do is we can be ready for the consequences which are caused by the natural disasters. Okay, so that is why mitigation and management, established by National Institute of Disaster Management India, Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 1993, and the World Conference on Disaster Management in May 1994 at Yokohama, Japan, etc., are some of the concrete steps towards this direction initiated at different levels. So, these are the things which are working for the natural disasters management. Okay, so first is National Institute of Disaster Management, Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and the second one is Yokohama, Japan. Okay, most often it is observed that scholars use disaster and natural hazard as interchangeable. Both are related phenomena, yet quite distinct from each other. Hence, it is necessary to distinguish between the two. So, the two words, natural disaster and natural hazards, are often thought as the same word, but they aren't the same completely, though we can use them, but it is not same completely. Like natural hazard is a smaller version of disaster. Okay, natural hazard may turn into disaster like the rainfall is a natural phenomena which happens, but when this rainfall will turn into flood, that will be a disaster, a natural hazard. So somewhat wait so disasters pre-stage can be called as a hazard, which is and hazard can be gradual. It is a slow process though, but disaster is sudden, and after every disaster there is loss in humanity and loss in everything. It One has no control over disasters. But in case of natural hazard, we can predict, okay, the rainfall is getting, the intensity is getting higher, so uh, there's a possibility of flood. Okay, yeah. So, okay, natural hazards are elements of circumstances in a natural environment that have the potential to cause harm to people or property or both. These may be swift or permanent aspect of the respective environmental setting, like currents in the ocean, steep slopes, and unstable structural features in Himalayas, or extreme climatic conditions in desert or glaciated areas. Uh, so in a particular area, uh, like uh, like in desert, if there will be heavy rainfall, it will be good, it will be seen as a boon. Whereas if a rainfall in a very city area, you say, if there will be a if there's a higher rainfall over there, a very compact place, then it will be considered as a disaster. Okay, as compared to hazards, natural disasters are relatively sudden and cause large scale, widespread death, loss of property, and disturbance of social systems and life ever, which people have a little or no control. Thus, any event can be classed as a disaster when the magnitude of destruction and damage caused by it is very high. Generally, disasters are generalized experiences of people the world over, and no two disasters are similar and comparable to each other. Every disaster is unique in terms of the local socio-environmental factors that control it, the social response it generates, and the way each social group negotiate with it. However, the opinion mentioned above is indicative of three important things. Firstly, the magnitude, intensity, frequency, and damages caused by the natural disasters have increased over the years. So, when we talk about the natural disasters, it has increased over the years. Secondly, there is a growing concern among people the world over to deal with the menace created by these, so that the loss of human life and property can be minimized. And finally, significant changes have taken place in the pattern of natural disasters over the years. There has also been a change in the perception of natural disaster and hazard. Previously, hazards and disasters were seen as two closely associated and interrelated phenomena. That is, area prone to natural hazards were more vulnerable to disasters. Hence, people avoided tampering with the delicate balance that existed in a given ecosystem. So, the area like near the marine beach, Mumbai, we know that it is a coastal area. Water, if there will be anything, tsunami or anything, the nearby area will get submerged into water. But what we have done, we have constructed roads, big buildings near it, so we are tampering over it. We know, okay, this area is disaster prone, but still, for for money, for um, materialistic things, we are getting into the affairs of nature. So some, and as a result, we are facing the consequences. Okay, people avoided intensification of their activities in such area, and that is how disasters were less damaging. Technological power has given large capacity to human interventions in nature. Consequently, now human beings tend to intensify their activities into disaster-prone areas, increasing their vulnerability to disaster. Colonization of flood plains of most of the rivers and development of large cities and port towns like Mumbai and Chennai along the coast and touching the shore due to high land values, making them vulnerable to the occurrence of cyclone, hurricanes, and tsunamis. This observation can also be okay. Show me. Okay. It is evident from the table that natural disasters have caused widespread loss of life and property. Concerted efforts are on at various levels to take appropriate measures to deal with the situation. It is also being felt that the damages caused by natural disasters have global repercussion repercussion that are beyond the means and capabilities of individual nation states to cope up with. Hence, this issue was raised at the UN General Assembly in 1989, and it was finally formalized at the World Conference on Disaster Management in May 1994 at Yokohama, Japan. This was subsequently called the Yokohama Strategy and Plan of Action of a Safer World. So we are seeing that it is the death, the intensity, the destructions are increasing, it has not decreased. So, classification of natural disaster, we have classified the natural disaster into four types. Okay, atmospheric, okay, what is being uh, disaster from atmosphere. Okay, terrestrial means from land, aquatic means from water, biological means from the organisms. Okay, so talking about atmospheric, blizzards. Okay, what is blizzards? uh, 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 I forgot. Okay. Thunderstorm, lightning, tornadoes, cyclone, drought, hailstorm, frosty. Okay. Human beings the world over have experienced disasters and have faced and lived with them. Now people are becoming aware, and various steps have been initiated at different levels for mitigating the effects of disaster. Identification and classification of disaster is being considered as an effective and scientific step to deal promptly and efficiently with the disaster broadly. Okay, nothing is there. Yokohama strategy has been given. Natural hazards and hazards in India. It was discussed in one of the previous chapter that India is vast and diverse in terms of its physical and socio-cultural attributes. It is largely due to the vast geographical area, environmental diversity, and cultural pluralities that scholars often described it using two meaningful adjectives like the Indian subcontinent and the land of unity in diversity. Why these words are being used in adjective? Okay, because India has almost very diverse uh, landforms, physiography, like we have plateaus, coastal areas, mountains, everything, oceans, everything's are there. So we are land of unity in diversity. Its vastness in terms of natural attributes combined with its prolonged colonial past containing various forms of social discrimination and also equally large population have enhanced its vulnerability